next, though, it's going to be Emily, and Emily is going to tell us what the Just Stop Oil crew have been getting up to now. Time for the Carver Palaver.
I quite like that, Just Stop Oil crew. Well, they've been making rather a spectacle of themselves in recent days, haven't they? Or at least they're trying their best to. I suspect that by now most of us see them for what they are, a self-righteous bunch of cultists who have nothing better to do than run around throwing orange powder everywhere. But it turns out that you can only take the mick of the British public for so long before we start to get our own back. Let's have a look at their latest antics, and I'll let you decide who the goodies and the baddies are here. So cue Just Spoiled Brats, oops, Just Stop Oil's eco-stunt at the Chelsea Flower Show.
We are part of Just Stop Oil. We're asking the government to stop licensing fossil fuels, which are a death sentence to us all. The Secretary General of the United Nations has said the true criminal radicals are the governments that are still licensing fossil fuels. That's our government. Our government is causing the death of humanity.
Just Stop Oil. Join us on a slow march.
That's enough of that. I don't know about you, but I quite like the cut of her jib, actually. Darren just mumbled that we should get her a medal. Anyway, moving on. Scaffolder Lewis Greaves decided to take matters into his own hands. Here's what he told GB News.
I got off the train station, I was in the car and all that, trying to get over the bridge. And then, of course, they're just standing there, making me even more late for work. And there's two police officers just standing there looking at them. Like, they're not doing their jobs, so if they can't do it, then the members of the public start doing it for them.
Well, there you go, taking it into his own hands. All I've learned from that about Just Stop Oil is that they, unlike the scaffolder, can afford to miss a day's work. Perhaps they should check their privilege. And then we have the dramatic finale, today's Rugby Premiership final, the pièce de résistance, storming the barricades onto the pitch, streaming orange glowing powder, all to be put to an abrupt halt by 17-stone England player Tom Curry, who promptly dragged them off the pitch, kicking and screaming. He rather showed the police how to deal with these people, I reckon. But you know what? I'm rather pleased that we still live in a country where there are people with a bit of basic common sense. Tell me, who do you reckon the goodies and the baddies are here? The self-righteous, doom-mongering, time-wasting Just Stop Oilers, or the ordinary men and women trying to earn a living in peace? Benjamin. Now, when people talk about Just Stop Oil and the other, Animal Rising and things, they say direct action. This is a great, what would you say? It's something we've been doing for years. It's British people showing what they think about things. We should celebrate it.
Benjamin's going to put them to death.
I wouldn't go that far.
Let's see if he's
I'll let the scaffolders and rugby players do it for me. No, I think it's great to see them getting tackled and, sprayed with watering cans. It's about time people rise up against these losers, because they're not suffragettes. They're a bunch of attention-seeking, privileged, upper-middle-class losers. I think it's about time that we dealt with them.
You know, Emily...
Well, there you go. End of debate.
Whilst we don't condone violence, obviously, for a second, I do think there is something to be said here about the fact that apparently one of the blokes that ran onto the rugby pitch was actually a GP. Now, if you ask me, a GP that wants to bring an end to fossil fuels, that wants the British economy to basically grind to a halt, because obviously we can't have intermittent renewables power the British economy, that's a breach of the Hippocratic oath.
This is why it's such a... This is why it's such a cult, though.
You think that we could live on wind and solar? What planet are you living on?
How did we get from...
What planet are you living on?
How did we get from Just Stop Oil to a doctor that's protesting against climate change?
Because he's from Just Stop Oil? Are you listening?
Is not able to uphold the Hippocratic oath and saying that we can't live from clean energy sources.
I don't know what show you're listening to.
What a nonsense.
Albi, there is a logic to what Darren said.
We can live off clean energy sources.
Just stop,
nuclear.
Hang on. If we did
renewables.
Just Stop Oil, as they ask, we simply wouldn't be able to live.
How are you going to power someone's gas boiler, Albi, with nuclear energy?
I think
how's Joris in Manchester going to keep ourselves warm
we transition from dirty energy sources to clean energy sources.
What rubbish? What complete and utter
by
rubbish?
2050, net zero by 2050. It's something which this Conservative government supports.
Yes,
and I support them in that mission.
And people are going to die out of cold.
Fundamentally, this entire conversation is based on the idea that we need to increase the supply of energy, right?
So
anybody, whoever they are across the country, needs to be able to afford their energy bills, obviously. Now, the reason why energy bills are so high is because we've been able to restrict the energy supply usage. Obviously, especially with Russia, Ukraine, that's reduced the supply of energy.
What's the cheapest energy source, Room?
The cheapest... Well, I actually think we should go nuclear. Now, the problem is a lot of these Just Stop Oil protesters are against nuclear energy. They're
onshore wind is the cheapest energy source.
They are against renewable energies that actually will support us in the future, support our energy supply. So I think fundamentally Darren is right. I mean, we're looking at a lot of these protesters. They don't support energy supply increases that actually will make energy bills cheaper for those that are most vulnerable.
I mean, there's lots of complexities to what you said that we can't get into, but onshore wind wouldn't be able to have the capacity that other forms of energy have, whether that's coal, oil, gas, etc., etc. So to say onshore wind's the cheapest, it's a bit disingenuous.
Is that wrong?
It is wrong. It is wrong because it would not be able to.
Onshore wind isn't the cheapest
onshore wind,
energy source.
You'd have to have storage, which we don't have.
No.
We don't have capacity for the amount of storage.
I'm afraid we're at the end.
Oh, but I was just getting on a roll.